The year was 1969, an iconic year in U.S. social and cultural history, with events such as Woodstock, the Miracle Mets, and of course, man stepping on the moon. It was the last year of a tumultuous decade that featured protest, rock and roll, and interesting fashion. However, in the small town of Franklin Township in Warren County, New Jersey, a young woman named Elizabeth Betsy Ames was elected to the newly formed Warren Hills Regional Board of Education. Little did she know that it would be a journey of serving on a Board of Education for 50 consecutive years, first on the Warren Hills Regional Board of Ed, and now serving on the Franklin Township Board of Education as well, and serving on both boards for 10 years. For 50 years, Betsy has not only been just serving as a board member, but she has been one of the most respected and effective board members on both boards. So much so that the library in Warren Hills Regional High School is named the Elizabeth Ames Library. Over those 50 years, Betsy has learned a few things about being an effective board member. The first is your focus should be on the students.
Someone asked me one time if I still had a child in the school, and I said, I don't have one of my own children, but I regard all of the children in the school as my children, and I've often told them that.
Reflecting back on her tenure, Betsy believes that there are several keys in being an effective board member.
In the long run, you have to say, what the decision I'm making is good, not just for one type of student or one student. It is for all the children in this school. You need to spend time in training. You don't just naturally know how to be a good board member. For the most part, people have never been to a board meeting. Policy is really the framework that you count on when decisions are made, and it makes it a lot easier sometimes for either the superintendent or board members to make a decision, because we can say, our policy says this.
One of the keys in being a successful board member is building a working relationship with the administration and your colleagues.
Well, you have to have faith in your superintendent, and you have to believe that, you have to remember, cardinal rule, you do not run the school. You see that the school is run well, and you have presumably done one of the most important things a school board member does, is to hire a superintendent or chief school administrator who is the educational leader of the school. Respect all the other members of the board. That you should never denigrate another board member or speak in a way that is a put down. If their opinion doesn't agree with yours, and it doesn't always, that you honor their honest agreement.
Reflecting on the similarities and differences on serving on the Board of Education.
Oh, it was so easy then. There are far more outside influences on schools now than there were. There's a lot more pressure economically because schools constantly have to evolve in ways that become more costly. There are new mandates, new regulations, new problems to solve.
Betsy has seen a lot of changes throughout her time on the board, but one thing remains the same. She is most proud of her district.
Franklin is unique in that we call ourselves a family, and it is very much like a family here. We also have a staff that is so caring. They make each child feel like they belong here, and it's just so wonderful to see what our staff does, not just because it's their job, but because they really care about kids, and they make kids feel included.
If you are considering running for the board, Betsy has the following advice.
So first of all, before you even run, you should really think what you are really interested in is education, and subheading education of our children, because that's why you're here. examine your reason for running for the board before you ever get there. It requires a lot of time. In addition to the time you spend at the board table, you also spend time probably on committees. You need to spend time in training. You don't just naturally know how to be a good board member. For the most part, people have never been to a board meeting. And so school boards, I can't say enough for how the training helps you to do what you need to do in an area you didn't know anything about in the beginning. There's so much to learn. There's always, and just from the two publications that we get, School Board Notes and the School Leader, which are so helpful and have wonderful special articles from time to time, not all of which apply to our school, but some do. And I find them very interesting, and I highlight the things that I need to try to remember.
Since Elizabeth Betsy Ames came on the Board of Education in 1969, our society has changed dramatically. There are technological advances that one could only fantasize about in 1969. The one thing that has not changed, however, is Betsy's commitment, her passion and dedication to the students of Franklin Township and Warren Hills Regional High School.
In the early days of my board membership, we spent an awful lot of time on nuts and bolts of the actual physical running of the school, and I'm so happy. This is one of the reasons I'm still staying in here. We're now talking a lot more about academics, about education, about what kids are learning, and what new things they're learning, and what new opportunities they have to learn. It's so exciting for me to see all this happening. It's not just, okay, they come to school and you put this in front of them, whatever. They're learning to be creative. When it's not fun anymore, you don't do it. So it is a job, but like I say, it's so rewarding, and it just makes me smile to think of all those kids and the things they're doing.